Hi, it's Patrik from Intensive Care at Home, where we provide tailor-made solutions for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies, and where we also provide tailor-made solutions for hospitals and intensive care units whilst providing quality services for long-term ventilated patients and medically complex patients at home. In last week's blog, I talked about questions answered about home TPN, also known as total parenteral nutrition. You can check out last week's blog by clicking on the link below this video. In today's video blog, I want to answer a question from one of our clients. And the question today is, can your service at Intensive Care at Home help my wife to wean off the ventilator at home? Here is what Len writes. Hi Patrik, my wife is getting close to being quote unquote kicked out of ICU. She's still slowly weaning using pressure support of around 10 for 10 hours a day and 8 for a couple of more hours, and the other time she's off the ventilator. Scleroderma makes her chest muscles weaker than a normal person, and so weaning off the ventilator is more difficult. Her lungs are great at oxygen exchange. She is close to 100% on the pulse oximeter all the time. The ICU is suggesting that she either accepts that she will always be on the ventilator, set at some level fixed, i.e. the CPAP or the pressure support, or the other option from their perspective is palliative care. I haven't had a great deal of time to make phone calls and check out other options, but I have found your website very helpful, and I'm thinking of taking her home and weaning her at home. The problem for me is the cost. I think my wife is only 47 and I'm not sure how to get her out of ICU financing it. We are in Sydney, Australia. How can I afford weaning her at home? I'll look forward to your advice, from Len. Hi Len, I'm very sorry to hear about your wife's situation, but I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. There's no need for palliative care for your wife. She can go home with our service, Intensive Care at Home. We can do the weaning at home. If it's possible at all, we need to know more about the clinical situation. I need to find out what stops her from getting off the pressure support, and why can't she be off the ventilator for more than 6 hours a day? In terms of cost, you should be looking at the National Disability Insurance Scheme, NDIS. The NDIS provides funding for patients on ventilation with tracheostomy at home. Most of our clients get funding through the NDIS. They get funding through other avenues as well, but predominantly the NDIS. So you should contact us to take the next steps. We also provide NDIS specialist support coordination, which is something you and your wife will need, and that will help you with funding. And then, obviously, once the funding is accepted and there, we can help you with the 24-hour intensive home care nursing. The trouble is that ICUs really have no idea that the NDIS can actually help them manage their bed flow. Most ICUs have no idea what's happening in the home care environment. They're so focused on their day-to-day looking after patients, which is fair enough. But yeah, the NDIS is a good scheme now and can help many patients in ICU to go home even though they're ventilated with a tracheostomy. And again, we can help you with a specialist support coordinator as well from the NDIS. Please contact us on one of the numbers on the top of the website, or send me an email to info@intensivecareathome.com. That's info@intensivecareathome.com. I hope that helps, Len. Give me a call and then we can take the next steps from there. Now, if you have a loved one in intensive care and you want to go home with our service, Intensive Care at Home, and if you want to find out how to get funding for our service and how it all works, please contact us on one of the numbers on the top of our website, or send me an email to info@intensivecareathome.com. Please also have a look at our case studies, because there we highlight more about what we can do for our clients, how clients can live at home with ventilation and tracheostomies. And you can look at our case studies as well on our case study section. And if you're at home already and you need support for your critically loved one at home, and you have insufficient support or insufficient funding, please contact us as well. We can help you with all of the above. And if you are an intensive care nurse or a pediatric intensive care nurse with a minimum of 2 years ICU or pediatric ICU experience, and you ideally have a critical care certificate or a postgraduate critical care qualification, please contact us as well. Check out our career section on our website. We are currently hiring ICU and pediatric ICU nurses for clients in the Melbourne metropolitan area, northern suburbs, Mornington Peninsula, Frankston area, South Gippsland, Warrigal, Leongatha, Trafalgar, Moe area, as well as Bendigo in Victoria and Wollongong in New South Wales. We are an NDIS, TAC and DVA approved community service provider in Australia. Have a look at our range of full service provisions. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for tuning into this week's blog. This is Patrik from Intensive Care at Home, and I'll talk to you in a few days.